All right, everyone, welcome to Brothers and Boss Battles, a video game showdown. Today we're talking the second game in our category of games where the name of the game is also the protagonist's name. And today's episode is on Max Payne. All right, Tom, why don't you give us your initial thoughts on Max Payne?
Sure. Well, Max Payne is a game that we were really looking to get this game on the show, and we finally found an interesting category for it, which is cool. But yeah, that should tell us kind of what you need to know about our thoughts already on Max Payne. Yeah, I mean it's a game that lives in Brothers and Boss Battles lore, and we'll discuss that. We'll discuss why today.
All right, Pete, what about you? What do you say?
I have decided to not be like every other reviewer or person talking about this game and trying to make Max Payneisms that aren't funny. So instead, I'm going to make a stupid Peter analogy. So to me, this one's really dumb.
This is becoming a staple of the show.
This game is like eating a grilled hot dog on a hot summer day.
Is that a good
Shall I
thing?
elaborate?
Yeah, go ahead.
Please.
I think it's a good thing, yeah. So there's no good reason why, but it's really satisfying. Like you have this fake ultra processed bun, you have the meat that's made with boot and pigeon, according to The Simpsons. But there's just something really fantastic about it, and that's like this game. The story isn't much. It's pretty repetitive. Obviously we all know they introduced the bullet time, but the mechanics aren't anything. They're pretty simple, but somehow the game is just really good. So,
All right.
that's my initial thoughts there.
All right, and I'll just say that I will echo what's been said, including the hot dog analogy. um, what I really like about this game, I just like how it's set in gritty New York City, and like it is just like I don't know, you just turn it on and you want to keep playing it, and it is rough around the edges, but it almost helps it fit into the setting of gritty New York City, I feel. So we're happy to discuss it, and there'll be things about it we don't like, so we're not just going to sit here and like pat it on the back for an hour, but all right. So for those that don't know, Brothers and Boss Battles, a video game showdown is our podcast here where we talk about video games new and old. I'm Anthony, and my brothers Pete and Tom are here, and we make up this podcast. What we do is choose a genre or category of games. For 3 weeks within that genre schedule, we talk about a game each of us chose and all the aspects of that game: story, gameplay, sound, music, lore, effect on the gaming world, and more. The fourth week of that category is our Bro Down episode, where we have a courtroom-style debate, each of us defending the game we chose while attacking the others and ultimately declaring a winner. Max Payne was developed by Remedy, the studio Remedy, and published initially by Gathering of Developers for Windows in July 2001, and then was later ported by Rockstar to PlayStation 2 and Neo Software to Xbox in December 2001. Let's just say what we played it on. I'll give the spoiler warning here. We're going to talk about the gameplay aspects of it, the story aspects of it. So, you've been warned. And I'll go first. I played it on my PS5, my most recent playthrough, but it was like the PS2 port of it.
I played it the same way, but I will say we did have this. Actually, we had this on Xbox.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
Originally back in the day, but I think a friend may have lent it to us on PS2, which is where we first played it.
Mm. Yeah, we all played. I mean, definitely you guys, and I believe when that was lent to us, I played it back then too.
Because I remember specifically And I know we're kind of like going off on a tangent here, but I remember specifically not having the quick save feature when we were playing the game, and that quick save feature was not available on the PS2 version,
That's right. Yeah.
nor the PS2 port that we played
Hmm.
on the the PS4 version of the PS2 port.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I played on PS4 this
Mhm.
latest, but I did play it back in the day, and I remember I remember specifically like being a little sick, so I stayed home from school one day, and I beat Max Payne.
So
I
this
mean,
is really,
I didn't beat it in one day, but
yeah, this is really one of those. We should add the Peter's childhood memories section of Brothers and Boss Battles.
yes, this would be the highlight
All
of that
right.
segment.
Yeah, so Max Payne is a neo-noir style, detective. They called it hard-boiled detective, gritty New York City kind of tale. It starts off where Max Payne, the protagonist here, is a NYPD cop. He comes home to his house to see his wife and child murdered by a couple of goons high on this drug called Valkyr. He then decides to transfer to the DEA to work more closely with or against or prosecuting or investigating drug criminals. Then gets framed for the murder of a DEA partner and sort of becomes the enemy of both law enforcement and all of these, people that he believes led the groundwork for the death of his family. Uh, with this drug, and it goes, typical your typical sort of bad guys in these, especially in a gritty New York City kind of game where it's like the mafia is the deemed to be, they're sort of the first level of enemy that you think is going to be there, and then it kind of expands from there, and we'll talk about it a little bit more. Um, so it's very like cliche and tropey, but it's still fun.
Yeah, I don't know. Coming from me, this is less meaningful, but the game isn't really about the story. It's about, killing mobsters. That's what I hope we talk most about. But no,
Yeah, I mean the story was fine. I mean it had some twists along the way too. It wasn't
Yeah.
just like, oh yeah, the mob boss is your main enemy. You have to kill him, and then you
yeah,
get your revenge. It's not exactly like that.
I will say this is one of the very few games I played where I kind of looked forward to the cutscenes and stuff.
Yeah, the
Just because
cuts.
I mentioned those Max Payneisms before, but I really enjoyed the dialogue.
Yeah. I mean,
It was good. It wasn't like corny, really.
Yes,
it
it
was
was.
corny.
I
That
mean,
Come on.
I don't know, but not like in a stupid way.
it was. I mean, like that. It was just so like, I don't know. It's just there's so many funny things about it. And like, so they presented it in that. I thought the way they presented it was cool with those
Yeah.
like graphic novel frames, kind of a thing. So they didn't use real acting. They used real act. Well, they used real people. We'll say that because the people that they used to
Not
represent.
AI,
Yeah,
real people.
yeah, but I mean, it wasn't a drawn cartoon or anything like that. It was actually real people. But I don't say actors because these are like it was like the people from Remedy, including writer Sam Lake, who played and modeled Max Payne himself, that were the images on the screen. Like, so they didn't get that was a cost saving measure from what I read about this game. To use them. And like Max Payne and Sam Lake's mother was, who eventually it was the main antagonist, which we'll discuss later. So, you know, I thought that was cool though. The kind of a
There was
it's
voice acting though, so they had actors in that sense.
yes, and the voice actor who played Max Payne was great.
Yeah.
Like his actual voice, like the lines were, I think many would say were corny.
Yeah.
Um, but
Tom, do you think this is corny? I was so far past the point of no return, I've forgotten what it looks like.
yeah, it was all like those. Yeah, so
Yeah,
like
I mean, not corny, but that was a little stupid, like just
it was just like
lame. But
overwrought, I think is a good word for it because it's just sort of like we're trying so hard.
You know what it reminded me of, and I feel like people should get this reference, but remember the episode of Seinfeld when Jerry was like, dark and or no?
Brooding, like,
I don't know if it was brooding. It was just very like all his commentary was just very like
depressed. Or,
yeah, depressing and dark.
yeah.
Anyway, that's what it was kind of like. It was like it was over the top
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
in
over
that
the
sense.
top's a good phrase, I think, for this. I like what's really funny, and I was gonna bring this up later, but since we're talking about this really isn't a corny corny line. But I love in the beginning of the game. So after Max discovers his dead family, like the phone rings, and it's who winds up being like the main antagonist or whatever. Just like they're sort of playing games with him at this point, and he goes, he goes, my family's been killed. Call 911. But meanwhile, he just answered the
Yeah, yeah,
phone.
yeah, yeah.
So dumb,
I remember
That
so
that.
dumb, and so great.
That was funny. Yeah.
So yeah,
oh man,
you start trying to get back into the gameplay a little.
yeah, yeah,
You 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 start in the house, right? And there's a couple of guys you kill, and that sets the story. But the first main part is in the subways, like the
yeah.
New
I mean,
York
that's
City subways.
if you don't do the tutorial,
Oh, true, true.
you
Which I'm
know.
not counting.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, the tutorial wasn't like
it's not
part of the
part of the
story.
right. It's
Or
not part of the story, but it's useful because it's not difficult to get used to the controls. But I mean, it's there are some nuanced items with it. But go ahead, Pete. You're talking about the stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was really cool. Really made me feel like I was in a subway. Although it's very, very empty.
Especially all, especially I was gonna say, especially getting shot at.
yo,
Yeah. And so it was very empty, and really, the whole game there's really no civilians, and
Yeah, I don't know. That was a programming thing. It just wasn't capable at the time. But to me, that lent so much to the atmosphere.
yeah, and I mean they tried to explain it, right? It was like one of the worst snowstorms in
Yeah,
history or something, so everyone was off
yeah,
the roads and stuff.
right.
So that was kind of nice how they tried to do that.
yeah. I like how they made it desolate, and I kind of feel like maybe when the city was a little bit more, you know, gritty and stuff like it might have. There were probably parts of it that were more like that, where people just kind of stayed away and off the streets and stuff.
Yeah, I got the impression that it wasn't like, Midtown Times
Right.
Square, it was
Yeah.
more like an outer borough or something.
No, I think it was. I didn't get the outer borough feel, but I could see it being like I don't know, all the way on like the west side before the train
Y-
was expanded or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like that
Yeah,
kind of.
yeah, yeah. Not like a touristy
Oh
spot.
no, but there was a reference to the Bronx in
Yeah,
there.
yeah. That
So
that's
Well, he lived in New Jersey.
he lived in Jersey, yeah, across the river.
Yes. Yeah, I was looking that up actually. In Max Payne 3, apparently he has an apartment in Hoboken, New Jersey.
Ah,
that's cool.
So that's right across the river.
yeah. So anyway, I mean, I just love the atmosphere. I even like screenshotted one of the scenes of him just standing on the like in the middle of the street and like like the buildings around them and it just with the and put that as like one of my backgrounds on the PlayStation 5.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I just like I mean the graphics are PlayStation 2 graphics, but they're still I think they really work well. I mean, obviously the characters are blocky, but like a lot of the enemies have like that one face. Like there's like a couple of scenes where it's like there's a few enemies and they're all have the same face.
Yeah, and the faces were funny.
Yeah, I mean, it was that
Like they
era.
tried. It looked like they had like an
And
image of an actual face and like imposed it
yeah,
onto.
they
Yeah.
used it as like the mesh for the
Yeah.
like the character model. Yeah, yeah, it was kind of like a weird. And then like I guess they didn't really like move like
No,
I mean they didn't blink or their mouths didn't move and
No,
whatnot.
no.
right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
That's okay. You're not playing the game for the graphics.
No, I mean, no story, no graphics. It's just
You're playing for the shooting.
Yeah, that's true.
but
And
it
you're
was.
definitely not playing for the platforming.
Oh
No.
yes, we should talk about that. All right, let's I guess poop on it a little bit before we talk about more good things. So one of the main controls, you do jump with it, and weirdly you jump with the R2 button, which I thought was very weird.
I don't. I take your word for it. I don't even remember it, but there's never really parts where you have to do quick jumps. Like so, it doesn't really matter that it's maybe a weird button to jump.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there is no quick jumps. That's not the problem with the platforming, but it is very unsteady.
Yeah. Just walking in a straight line in that game was
Yeah,
nigh
impossible.
impossible for me. Yeah.
It really
No,
was.
you're
And then you're platforming, like you're basically doing trapeze work up in like the top level of a building without being able to walk in a straight line.
so the thing that bugged me is about that was I would basically shift the camera, and you could rotate the camera. It's 3D, right? I shifted the camera basically from a top-down view, so I could really see, make sure that I'm staying on the little thin platform that I have to walk on. And I was walking very slow, obviously, because I had to. But sometimes the camera would just like start to shift back to the, basically behind me. I had to keep fighting that camera up while I was platforming. That was annoying.
Yeah, that was annoying, but even it was just like so weird. Like I guess this is something with the physics or whatever, but like you would like tap the button ever so slightly, like let's say to get off of something, and it would like propel you, and you'd fall off like the building or wherever you were platforming on because like you
Yeah.
couldn't go that far out, and you didn't intend to go that far out, and there was no possible way to edge the button any less than you already did, and it was or the controller or the
Yeah.
joystick. It was just that was
Yeah, that
horrible.
happened to me. Like, there's one point you have to jump out the window onto like a little
Scaffolding,
catwalk thing or
catwalk.
whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
And yeah, I guess yeah, I guess the way to do it is you have to start your jump like earlier, not in front of the window,
hmm
so that you just clear the window and land on the thing outside. But I jumped over that twice, like to my death, and I was just like, come on.
yeah. There was a
Well, the
couple.
place,
Yeah.
no, the place I died the most was when you had to jump on the train, the moving train.
Uh,
Like you had to jump off the roof
Oh yeah,
yeah,
I died once there.
yeah. I think I just died once
once.
there. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I died maybe 7 times, and then I had to go online, and someone on Reddit posted a tip to basically not jump. You basically just walk off the
Uh,
ledge, and then I tried that first time. Bam, worked.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's things like that. I mean, there were a couple other parts. So the platforming was definitely poor. I mean, you don't have to do it much, thankfully.
Yeah, that's the thing.
There's one part where you're like sort of going like outside, like you're on a little like platform on the outside of a building. I think it's like towards the end. It's like it might be the at the very end, last level. That was a little rough too. But the worst, and this was probably the worst part of the game, where there was the two nightmare sequences for me. Anyone
Yeah,
wanna?
I feel like that's
those were definitely not fun. Yeah.
that's everyone's comment. I feel were there two or three? I thought there were three.
I thought there were only two
Maybe there's only two.
because they happen.
Yeah,
So
there's three parts, right? And then there's one in between each.
Oh,
yeah,
okay, fair.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like for the listeners, there's these sequences where Max is drugged. I think in both instances, and we could go through that after we talk about it. But so he's sort of hallucinating, and it's essentially this, for the most part, this just black space with this red line. And I guess it represents blood. It's supposed to be like an outline of his house, I think. But there's no rooms or walls or floors or anything. And you just have to walk on this red line,
Very thin red line.
very thin red line, or you fall off. And then and in the second one, you have to jump off it onto a lower platform. And again, just this little red line. And
Yeah, so it's
the
not really a red line. It's a bunch of red lines. Like it's not just one
yeah,
continuous line.
right. Well, and that's the
Yeah,
other
but you
thing
have to.
about it. It's like you might actually successfully platform and then wind up in a direction you're not supposed to go in, and then it's like really like, ugh.
Yeah. Then you got to platform back, and again, you're going really slow to make sure you
Yeah.
don't fall off.
So that was like honestly, there was one point when I was replaying this the most recent time where I kept dying, so I just shut it off, and then like for days I didn't want to turn it back on because that was the part I had to beat, and like I really like this game, spoiler alert, but like I that was so discouraging. So there's that. There were a couple other parts that weren't platforming that were very difficult for me that we can maybe discuss maybe a little later. I don't know what you want, but those are more like at least normal, annoying, tough, as opposed to these annoying platformings, uh, these horrible platforming parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said you like the atmosphere, but and it's not supposed to be, but it's not really creepy in any way, the game. But those nightmare sequences and the babies crying in the background and stuff, that evokes another emotion that you don't get throughout the rest of the game, in my opinion. So maybe that's what they were going for, but it
Yeah,
was mostly big swing and a miss. Those two parts.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, the idea isn't bad. It was just the execution of playing that part is really bad.
Yeah, not enough gunfire in those parts.
Well, I guess if we're still on this portion of the game, I guess I'll just say the other two parts that I found difficult.
Yeah, you might as well.
So both were in the Acer building, which is really the culmination. It's really the end. It's the last level before you get to the last boss. And one of them was very early on. You break in or you go in, and there's a few baddies that like come and attack you in the lobby, and you shoot them. Then you kind of go around the elevators, and it's like this big hall,
Yeah. The
and
rocket launcher.
there's that tiered portion where it's a one hit. They have a one hit kill, one hit KO. I guess it's a rocket launcher, but whatever gun they have, hits you and kills you. And, well, basically one shot, especially if it's a direct hit. And it was just so hard. And I think I eventually beat it with the using bullet time and stepping out and sniping them with the sniper rifle. But I think you could
Yeah,
also
that's the way to do it.
okay. There's
I
also
used the
like
sniper rifle too.
yeah, all right, that's good.
It was
It's
still
still
really hard though, because
it's
there's
still tough.
multiple
Yeah,
It was hard. Yeah.
enemies, and they were on different like
years. Yeah,
platforms of different tiers, different levels.
yeah.
So, and then when you're using the sniper, it's kind of hard to. You had to kind of like
Do one, go back. Do one,
withdraw
go
this.
back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah. And then there was the other weapon. Oh man, I'm forgetting the name of it, but it was almost sort of like your own rocket launcher. Not rocket launcher, but like grenade kind of a thing. But anyway, I thought that could have been another option, but the other part that was difficult, and this was more of just until I figured out what to do, was when you're in the elevator and there's those um
Yes.
the bombs, like the red line
The
bombs that
red
you have to
lasers. Yeah.
yeah, the red lasers.
Oh
And
yeah.
I kept like at first I was trying to use like the assault rifle and then like the Berettas and just trying to shoot the actual like base of it so it would explode. Then eventually I wound up using the gun that I'm forgetting the name of that I want to figure out right now to just
It's
like
the M79.
yeah, the M79. It's basically like a grenade launcher, so it blows up everything that near where it hits. So that would take it out even if you didn't hit the base directly. And so then I just used that and got through it.
I think I used the Colt Commando, which was the
That was
assault rifle.
yeah, I that was a great
And
gun to use against the enemies, but it was not working for me in that part.
yeah, I think if you use like bullet time, it was made it easier.
Oh, yeah.
I like using the dual guns. The best.
Hmm.
The dual engram was my favorite
Oh
weapon
yeah,
to
the
use.
Ingram was good. Yeah, I used the Colt Commando a lot once I had it. I thought that was pretty useful.
Yeah, those were the two best for me. I did not like the shotguns.
Mm.
No,
Yeah,
'cause there's
no,
too many enemies in this game.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. You needed to be fast, and it was just
they were too slow.
yeah. Because if it didn't kill a guy in one shot, you were really done.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, if there was like a lot of
Yeah,
enemies,
no, that's
yeah.
what I'm saying. Yeah, a lot of times there was though. So.
You're talking about different parts. One part that really stood out to me for whatever reason, I guess I found it fun, was when you're in the like parking garage.
Oh yeah,
Like it
yeah.
wasn't, it was challenging, but it wasn't overly difficult.
Hmm.
Mm, yeah, it was cool. One other hard part, or part that I struggled with a little bit, was when you start chapter two and you. This is like right after you get drugged the first time, and then you lose all your weapons and you just have the baseball bat. That
Oh
part was kind
yeah,
of. That part was pretty hard.
it
Oh, and
was.
then you basically, yeah. But then you have to kind of kill an
What?
enemy and grab his gun, but there's a
Yeah,
bunch of enemies, so you have to.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And then you
That
don't
was
really have
hard.
a ton of ammo at that point either, so like, because
Yeah.
you're just taking some dead guy's weapon.
I love the sound the bat made when it hit
Yeah,
things. Like,
I don't think the audience heard that, but like not like that, but like a dinky sort of blunt sort of
yeah, it
sound.
sounded like something a
kind of
clown would use.
like a Nerf
Like
bat or
Yeah,
something.
I
Like,
was gonna say like a wiffle ball bat, but not like the thin yellow ones, like those fat orange
yeah,
ones.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
yeah,
Just another great thing about the game.
yeah. And that was another kind of issue I had with the game. Like, 'cause in that part, I really felt like I wanted to use a little bit of stealth, but
Yeah,
like you can't at all in
No,
this
that's not what
game.
this game's about.
They're
no.
This
like a
game's
meat.
about blowing people's heads.
Yeah, but I understand what he's saying. It's like you almost want to try to lure one into the doorway and smash him with the bat to get, and then like have a little bit of strategy there, but it really wasn't
You
that.
can like it,
Yeah,
but like, yeah, like they are immediately alerted to your presence if you
yeah,
like step a certain way, like a certain distance to them, even if they're not looking at you.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that probably would have been a little too. I mean, look, I mean, there were stealth games at the time, so but I think
Yeah,
that really wasn't what they were going for.
yeah, yeah, fair enough.
But I just really, I mean, it really was great. I like the story. I mean, it is. It has a lot of tropes. It's like it's the mafia, and then it's like you go to their casino and you go to their club, and then it goes into it's a big government conspiracy, and there's this secret society, and like all of that. So like it gets a little bbigger. But all of those parts in New York City when you're going to like these mafia hotspots where I don't know, it's just like it seemed like a real thing. Like I don't know, like it like
Probably is a real thing.
yeah, but it was just very interesting and like that brought it. There was one, and I guess this was Lupino was the like mob boss or something they were
Yeah, I
talking
think
about,
so.
but like you go to his restaurant, like he says, "Oh, meet me there," and like you go there and no one's there, and then everything starts catching on fire, and you have to run through. Do you remember that scene? Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought that was a kind of a cool, unique scene, even though it was tough. Like I did not like I died a few times getting through that building, but still fun.
Yeah, no, I remember that. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, most of the game was. Since you're talking about parts that are difficult, I assume you guys agree that the difficulty scaling was really like steep. Like the first chapter
Oh
was
yeah,
super easy, and then by the end it was like a lot more of a struggle.
yeah. I feel like in the first part or whatever, what do they call it, chapters or parts? I'm not sure, but like that,
Well,
the
there's
first,
parts, and
It
then
was
there's like
parts and
and
chapters, and
chapters, but there was multiple like sub chapters in each
it was
yeah,
chapter.
so
yeah,
that was a little confusing, but not that
yeah,
it's important.
yeah.
Like,
Well,
oh, this
anyway,
is
that
like this
whole
is
first part was like, I mean, there were so many painkillers. Like I always had eight, and then like I would
Yeah,
find four more, and I would just like,
yeah. Like I guess I'll just use them so I could pick these up.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, painkillers are your healing method in this game, which just adds to the neo-noir, uh, you know, down on his luck cop feel of this game. It reminded very much of like a Punisher kind of a thing. His family gets killed and he kind of goes on this rampage.
He's a man with nothing to lose.
Yeah, I think that line is in the game.
wasn't that in the commercial?
Yeah, or maybe.
I'm not sure if that was like the tagline for Max Payne 2 or
Oh, maybe.
if it was this one, but either way, it's Max Payne related.
And since we're talking about difficulty or difficult parts,
It was
We all
this one.
played. It was this
Man,
one. Okay.
the screen is it has like the caution tape and it says a man with nothing to lose, do not cross.
Classic.
Max Payne 2 was the fall of Max Payne was the tagline on that.
Well, that was a subtitle.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right, fine. All right, Pete, you were saying.
Yeah, I was just saying I played on, I think it was Fugitive. Is that the mode that
The standard
default
difficulty.
mode? It's standard difficulty. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did that originally, but then on this most, I'll let you finish. Sorry, but like I played on hard boiled, which was one higher than that on
Oh
this
wow.
playthrough. Yeah.
No, I was finished. I was just gonna kind of ask you
Oh.
guys what you guys played on.
Yeah, I did
Difficulty.
hard. I had always done on, I guess, Fugitive, and then I played hard boiled this time. Then there's one harder one. I believe it's
Dead on
called
Arrival.
Dead on Arrival, which is the hardest. And then there's a mode called New York Minute, but it's not really
Mhm.
like the whole game. I think it's like you have to beat it in certain amounts of time or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you have a minute, but then maybe you get time as you kill more enemies, and you have to.
Yeah, I don't think it's literally a minute long, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I would have liked to play, or I would like in the future to play on hard boiled.
Yeah, I think that would have felt better.
Yeah.
So I played on the standard Fugitive as well, and it was fun. I thought it was mostly pretty easy up until like very close to the end, for the most part.
Yeah, no, I agree. The first two chapters are pretty easy, or
Yeah.
parts.
Yeah, no, it wasn't overly hard. I mean, there are some instances where the bosses, the bad guys are kind of overwhelming, but you don't get as many painkillers, but you're still not like completely out of painkillers. And it's
No,
kind of
there was never a point like even near the end where I was like, "Whoa, how am I gonna ever do this?" Like I'm at low health, I don't have any painkillers, and there's a giant wave of enemies that I can't beat. You know?
Yeah, I think you just gotta get lucky. I mean, honestly, the game felt a little
Random.
yeah, random. I was gonna say inconsistent, but random I think is a better word. Whereas like times where like you died and then you would come back and it would just play out completely differently from when you died, you know?
Yeah, you do basically the same action, but all of a sudden
Yeah.
instead of dying, you like had only
Yeah.
three quarters of your health left.
Like maybe two enemies like ended up getting closer to each other one time and
you blew them
killed
up in
them
one
both.
shot.
Yeah, or something
Yeah.
like that, you know? So like
Yeah.
yeah. So to your point, like it's like even if you're struggling with a part, you might get one of these random points where you end up getting through it more easily.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that assessment. There was like one time I was like, whoa, I just got blown up like in a second. How did that happen? Then I went back, basically did the same thing. I was like, oh, cleared all seven of them.
Yeah.
You know?
All right, so I think we should touch on the gameplay here because it included the bullet time mechanic, which was popularized a few years earlier by the Matrix movies and then showed up in this game. I don't think it was a copy though. I think like this was in the works before that movie even came out and it just sort of was a coincidence. But probably helped the game.
I think it definitely helped sell the game.
It was a cool mechanic. It was fun playing with it. I don't feel like I used it as much as like one would think you would use it when you have this ability. It did have a cooldown, so you couldn't use it constantly, which was good. But it was a little hard to aim sometimes when you're doing the side to side bullet time dives.
I found myself using what's it called? Was it called shot dodge or maybe I just made that up completely? But the one where you dive instead of like actually just pressing the button to engage bullet time.
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
Well, I see it. Yeah, I guess technically, but the one where you're just engaging bullet time was easy because you're just kind of standing there and then it's easy to aim. When you were diving, it was harder to aim.
Oh, right. But I'm just saying that I found myself
Yeah.
using the harder method, I guess, according to you.
Yeah. Yeah, the standing up straight method was also useful, but I don't know, I found it a lot when I was like trying to jump out of a corner or something,
Yeah.
or
Or an
around a corner.
open door.
Yeah.
It was interesting though, because like even like back then, like the bad guys were able to come through the door, like once they knew you were there, which like was kind of unique. Like I don't remember other games where that happened. Like those early Resident Evil games. Like I don't think the zombies came through the door and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know specifically about Resident Evil, but actually probably you're right, and I feel like you're right in general. Like it was almost like a in a lot of games around that time. I feel like it was all like a safe haven. Like you were in trouble, you would just like
Jet out of there.
exit the room, like
Yeah.
regroup, and then go back in.
Yeah, but that was also a way to trap the enemies too. 'Cause, you know they're gonna walk through the door, so you just
Yeah.
stand in front of it with a
Yeah,
shotgun, and then when they come,
you're right. You're right.
On the harder difficulties though, they were like quick. Like there were times and they took more bullets, so like if they, if you're shooting them with a gun that took like 5 bullets to kill and then they had a shotgun, they could do some pretty good damage on you. But yeah, I
Yeah.
understand playing on easy fugitive difficulty may have been different.
The bullet time was fun, but was it that fun?
It was no, it was fun, but I think
Like to me, it was a
the
neat little
yeah,
thing.
but the game made it like other than the bad platforming controls, I thought like switching between guns wasn't too bad. Like you had to use, I think on the PS5 like port, you had to use the D-pad, but then like you had to also like then press R1 to almost like cock the gun.
yeah,
Otherwise,
you couldn't just scroll like
yeah.
navigate over to it. You had to navigate over to it and then press another button to confirm it. Basically,
Yeah, so that was a little annoying,
that
but
was annoying. Yeah,
it was still cool how they had it on like just the menu on the screen though, as opposed to having to like pause it and change your
yeah,
gun.
definitely.
Like so that was kind of cool. Like it wasn't like fully there yet, like where you get to position all of your guns in like the D-pad and switch like seamlessly, but it was getting there and it was kind of a good, I still think it was more good than not, but yeah, it was
Yeah, I agree. Like now looking back after playing the modern types games,
yeah.
you feel it a little, but I never felt like I was really at a disadvantage because I had to swap my
Yeah.
weapons in that manner.
Mm-hmm. And I like how they kept it simple. Like you had a bunch of guns, but there was no armor. There was no like, you know,
There was no even like cover.
experience.
Like
Yeah.
there's no like taking cover or anything like that. Like
You could kind of do it sometimes.
I mean, not
It wasn't
really.
like an official like
It wasn't
crouch.
like
Like, yeah.
yeah, there wasn't like shooting out of cover,
Yeah. Yeah.
which
But
is something that became really popular after this game.
There
yeah.
was nothing. You don't get more health as you go on. You don't like.
Yeah, no, but that was kind of cool. I liked
I
how it was
agree.
simple in that respect, where it's like you didn't have to allocate experience points to anything or choose your
Yeah,
armor 100 different times, and like not that games with that are bad, and that I don't like those games, but it was just fun to not play a game like that. I don't know.
I totally agree, and it surprised me. It surprised me how like minimal it is, but how fun it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, really, the only thing is as you progress, you get like some new guns. That's really
yeah,
it.
yeah. No, that's it.
It really is basic though. Like there's one point where you get a sniper. It might be the first time you get the sniper, and then like basically the next bad guy you have to shoot is with that sniper. Like
Yeah,
it's like a perfectly placed. Okay, I know what I have to use now.
yeah. But I mean, the thing what kept the game good though was to me, I would not call it repetitive. Like, yes, you're using guns to kill bad guys to most of it, but like, there was that running out of the fiery building part, and there was that other part where you're in like that construction yard, and you have to go on those big, uh, I don't want to, they're not really cranes, but whatever they were, like moving
Moving
platforms,
things, yeah.
and you had to
Yeah.
like move them on the thing, and there would be guys in the watchtowers that would you could shoot before they see you, and like there was like a little bit of strategy to it as well. And even the fact that the bullet
Yeah,
time can run out, like there were times where it ran out for me. Like I was using it that much in certain parts, especially that part in the Acer building where you're trying to snipe the guys on the tiers. Like,
yeah. I think that was probably the only time where it's really a concern for me.
yeah,
And it's not really a cooldown. You regenerate it as you kill bad guys.
yeah, yeah,
Like it's not like a timing thing. But yeah, I mean you're right. There was enough variation there, I guess, to keep it fresh. But I do feel like a lot of the game was their standard shooting people with guns. So I don't know. I felt it was a little repetitive. But again, it never lost. It never stopped being fun.
Yeah,
I
I don't
don't know.
know.
Would
To
you
me,
classify it as repetitive, or
I, would- I,
he's
I don't
thinking
think
about
so.
it?
I don't think so.
yeah, there's the different parts, but there's also that like the interspersing of the story and the comic pains and all of that, the comic
Yeah,
Max Pains.
the pacing was good in the game, and none of the cuts or story scenes were so long that it got boring or whatever.
There were a few
Yeah,
little puzzles too, right? So you mentioned that construction yard. Didn't you have to shoot uh like a triangle block off of like a truck tire?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
through
That was
like
hard
a
to figure out.
yeah. I don't know if I had remembered it from playing past or if it just was
They're
sort of
just
made
smart.
obvious. So yeah, well, that didn't
I think it was
pull
pretty
me up.
obvious.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
it
they made it.
didn't hold me up either.
Oh, it held me up a little.
Maybe because we're like experienced gamers and stuff, so we're used to that
Yeah,
kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's like
maybe.
I thought there was maybe a scene with a car with something rolling through a wall though. Like I don't know, they kind of almost telegraph it in some ways. I mean, so
Uh,
that was yes, that was could be considered a puzzle.
Well, I'll say the last scene of the game.
Yeah, that's where I was gonna go to. The
I
final boss battle.
final, yeah, so I didn't really remember what to do there. I mean, I knew that you had to shoot the two cable thingies that were holding
spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
Yeah,
yeah,
the tower.
the tower. But then I was like, okay, so what's happening? Why isn't anything happening?
Yeah, oh, then you got to shoot the
You
actual
have to shoot the
tower.
actual tower. That was
Yeah,
not obvious
yeah.
to me.
No, no.
I agree, and I felt it was lame for a
I,
final
I do too. Yeah.
boss.
I don't know. Well, the boss.
I mean,
I don't know.
you do have to kill enemies
Yeah.
too in between shooting those
I don't know.
cables.
I kind of feel it's cool to not have a boss be like a big blobby enemy that you have to
Blobby.
shoot 1,000 rounds into to kill. Like I don't know. I'm thinking
Yeah,
Resident Evil when it's
but the
always on
whole
my
game
mind.
is that. The whole game is that, and then at the
No,
end,
it's
it's like
not. It's killing. It's not because it's killing 10 enemies on the screen that take 2 or 3 shots to kill, not one
yeah.
bad, big, huge bad. That
No, there's no. I
Well,
mean,
would you
you're
think it
right.
was going to be like the older woman that?
well, that's the thing. I mean, what were you gonna do? I mean, like, so what was she
Getting
No,
to
it could
gonna
have been
do
a
to be
gauntlet.
the big?
No. So there were some bosses in this game, and they just basically took a lot more
Yeah,
ammo
ammo.
to kill.
Yeah,
But usually those bosses, I think all those bosses had regular enemies around them too.
Yeah.
So it should have been like that, like a gauntlet where you're like quickly going into maybe something's chasing you, or something is like a time thing, and you have to go through these different rooms and clear all the rooms, and then at the end there's one tankier guy. I don't know.
The other thing that could maybe be classified a little bit as a puzzle was that time, and then again, I think this was in the Acer building. I think it was definitely towards the end, if not the last level, when that helicopter starts shooting at you. And there's a giant like sculpture in the room, and you basically have to hide behind that because you can't hit the helicopter, and if you're not behind that thing, you're gonna eventually get shot and killed. So like I thought that was kind
Yes.
of cool. It took me like the first time I was trying to shoot it, I was like, okay, you probably just have to
Hmm.
shoot because. But then, like, it didn't work, so I was like, "Wait, let me hide behind this." It's like, why is this otherwise here?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you end up going in like, is it an elevator, like a glass elevator or
Yeah,
something? And you have to kind
yeah,
of dodge the helicopter attacks there and then jump off once you
yeah,
get to a certain point. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and there's a few times where it's like they're pretty obvious, where there's like basically a tank that's like pressurized and gas is leaking out, and you have to shoot it, and then it like
Yeah,
opens up a wall or something.
right, yeah. Some of the sounds are so funny though. It's like sometimes you kill the enemies. It's like,
Oh
Like,
yeah, no,
aw,
yeah,
like they're
yeah,
like a kid who's like didn't get his way or something.
yeah, no, the sounds are funny. You know what sound I really enjoyed? The whistling. Sometimes they would kind of like whistle.
Oh, like
They were
what's
like,
if they were bored?
yeah, like if they were just like, kind of around the corner and they didn't know you were there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I liked some of the like the mobsters' voice acting was so like
Oh,
just exaggerated, like
Yeah.
stereotyping, like
yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Italian
But
American thing, whatever.
But it was like even the names were like funny
yeah.
were funny.
But
Like
Max Payne himself was also very exaggerated, I felt.
The way he
yeah, what?
spoke, you mean?
Yeah, the way he spoke, yeah.
Well, yeah, I
His
mean,
whole thing.
he had the main character energy, whatever.
Oh, but even one of them was like Punchinello,
Yeah, yeah,
Vinny Gognita. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, I mean, they had Italian names because they were
No, no, I don't
mobsters.
mean that, but no, I mean like Punchinello, like punch, like he punch. Like I feel like that was like
Yeah,
a
could have
corny
been, yeah,
sort of.
like a pun.
Oh, and then there was also I had so many notes on this actually. There was that I'm now just remembering. There's also like the Russian mobster in it too, Vladimir, of course. But
Yeah.
like his car is in it, and the license plate is vodka.
Oh yeah.
yeah. I don't know. It just this whole corniness, it just really appealed to me and made the game way more enjoyable.
Yeah, no, me too. And then I'm just looking at the parts like we were talking about like repetitiveness or not. But there was like a cool part where you had to get there was like a junkie and you had to get him to open the door to where the mobsters like goons
Yeah,
were
yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
and
That's
so
a good
that was
point.
cool, you know. Oh, there was also I don't know if you remember, there was when you're doing like the weird platforming and crossing the buildings, like there was like a creepy flamingo sci-fi show on one of the
Yeah, I remember.
TVs. Yeah, that was a little creepy.
It was, yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Captain Baseball Bat Boy.
Yeah, yeah, it was yeah. And then other things I pointed out, like there was cool details, like and a lot of times like the bullets like when you're getting shot at or you're shooting something, like the bullet holes will still be on that thing when the battle is over. You know,
Hmm.
there were other times where that didn't happen and that was kind of funny, and one of them was in that like with the helicopter. Like it was just constantly shooting at you and like the holes would keep repairing themselves. But for most part, it was still kind of like cool. Or even how like the grenades would blow up things in the environment, like barrels would get knocked over and stuff. So it was like, despite those graphics, it still had a good atmosphere and physics engine with that. I feel.
Yeah, it was cool. And then even going back to the first part, like it was kind of like the subway token booth. Like you'd
Yeah,
shoot
yeah.
through the glass and then you could go in
Hmm.
the glass. But so the glass would break, and sometimes you needed that to break to like advance to the next part of the game. And speaking of advancing to the next part of the game, this game is incredibly linear. Like I don't think there was ever a point throughout the game where I didn't know where to go.
Yeah, I mean it's not open. I mean I think there are some parts when you're outside where you could maybe walk across the street or not, but yeah, for the most part, it's not, it's you know where to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is great.
I mean, there are but it's not linear like Super Mario Brothers though, because there are parts where there are little corners of corridors and stuff where you don't have to go where there may be painkillers there or
True.
weapons.
Yeah.
There were definitely parts like that. So like I kind of appreciated that too because just a little bit of exploring would help you. And I feel like painkillers a lot were squirreled away in places where you didn't necessarily have to be. I mean, at least on my most recent playthrough.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
No. No. You're right. You're right. So yeah, it's a fair point. There was a little bit of exploring aspect, but it was kind of like a situation where there's a room with maybe two or three doors, and two of them led to one closed room that maybe had something, and then the third one led to where you had to go.
Yeah. And there was
So
also like the very obvious Norse mythology connections too, with Valkyr being the drug and one of the mobsters' clubs called Ragnarok. So there was those kind of connections. And one of the mob bosses like sort of was going crazy and had all of this like occult stuff at
Yeah.
one point. So that was, so they did. There definitely was creepy elements in this.
I think there was a Fenrir reference too.
Yeah, and then just to kind of keep with that
Noir.
noir talking. Like they, how do you say it correctly?
Noir. Noir.
Noir, noir, noir.
Norbor.
They had like the femme fatale. They had like the mobster's wife's twin sister was like sort of on your side, but also independent. Um, Mona Sachs, kind of another interesting but pornally stereotyped character. I did see that they were planning to make a Dreamcast version of this game, but then Dreamcast went under.
Oh wow. You know what I would really love if they made a remake.
Oh, I think they
Oh.
announced that 3 years ago.
Yeah, not a lot of news
But I think
around
it
that.
maybe it's actually being worked on now because it does seem to be. I also, and we will see if we ever do play this game, I do think there is some sort of reference to it in Alan Wake 2,
Hmm.
since Remedy is
Well,
also made that game. So
we have to play Alan Wake 1 first.
that's true. And who knows if we'll ever get there.
I don't know. So anyway, back to the remake. It's going to be Max Payne 1 and 2 together, or it's supposed to be. And
Is it like one long game, or is it gonna you could select to play either game in it?
probably select. I don't know. But I don't know. There's speculation that it's going to come out in 2027. And there's also speculation that I guess because they're working on Grand Theft Auto, so there's not a lot of progress on this. I don't know how true that might be.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure because Grand Theft Auto is, I think, Rockstar proper,
Yeah.
whereas
Wait, what'd you say? Sorry,
Max Payne is
what's Rockstar proper?
Grand Theft Auto,
Oh yeah,
whereas Max Payne, I guess, is developed by Remedy. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't really know the.
But Max Payne 3 was fully Rockstar, so I think they had bought the rights. Though I
Ah,
think Remedy is involved in the remake. But I think I think like ownership wise, it's kind of all Rockstar at this point.
hmm. Yeah, I was on the Remedy website a few weeks
Mhm.
ago, and there was references to the Max Payne remake there.
Yeah, it's not like a secret, and I think the Alan Wake 2 thing, I think it's a spoiler for that too, but it's like a stand-in character for Max Payne. Like you kind of know it's supposed to be Max Payne, but it's not really Max Payne. So,
Uh, You keep saying Max Payne. That reminds me, sounds like it's not that corny, but even just his name, Max
well,
Payne.
yeah,
It's a pun, yeah.
yeah. Sometimes I'll call him Maximum Pain or Maxwell Pain,
Maximilian Payne.
Maximilian Pain.
Um,
So the voice actor I was reading passed away.
He just, I think, somewhat recently, yeah, but he was. I mean, it was a great sort of.
Oh yeah, he did great.
It was James McCaffrey.
it's too bad. I wonder
Yeah, I wonder who's gonna.
2023 died actually, but yeah.
who's going to reprise his role if
Mhm.
they'll
Yeah,
do it justice.
I sure hope so.
You know, Max Payne 3 is, I think, regarded as like one of the best games ever made by a lot of
Oh
people.
wow, on those lists.
Yeah, on
Yeah,
this.
it's on some lists.
I mean, I have to say, it sounds like Max Payne 2 is well liked as well.
Yeah, I think the series in general is, but I wonder if they'll be borrowing elements of Max Payne 3 for the Max Payne 1 and 2 remakes.
Mm. Did you ever play them? Past one?
Yeah. Max Payne 3 had like the cover where you're, you know, ducking and hiding behind
Mm.
things and then popping out to shoot and stuff like that. So,
Max Payne. Sorry, go ahead.
no, so yeah, I was just wondering if they would incorporate that into the 1 and 2
Yeah,
remakes.
that could be cool. Max Payne 3 was for PS3
Yeah.
generation.
Mm. Yeah, I haven't played past Max Payne 1.
I don't remember if I played 2 or 3 for that matter.
Did we have those? I don't remember even owning those.
We did.
Both? Oh,
Yeah, I think Max Payne 3 was when I guess both of you at that point were
stop gaming.
taking a little break from games.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I think that was the era where I probably played the least.
That would have been around probably 2009 or 10.
Oh, that late?
I would think earlier than that.
Well,
Max
for three, I mean,
Yeah,
Max Payne 3 is a 2012 third-person shooter game.
yeah.
2012. Then that was pretty close.
So I was thinking, yeah, I was kind of on a gaming hiatus at that point. Those were dark times.
Oh wait, Tom, what date did you say before we?
I said 2009 or 10.
Oh yeah, so all right, you actually were close. Yeah, yeah, no, that makes sense. All right. Anything else to add?
Yeah, I wanted to ask if you guys experienced any glitches playing through this most recent time on the PS4 version. There were a couple of times for me where it would just like the screen kind of went black, but I couldn't see anything, but I was still like in the game and I can hear stuff.
Hmm. I don't think so. I
Don't
don't recall.
remember that happening to me either. Though.
Yeah, I did see when I was just like researching though that there were glitches. I just didn't
Yeah,
really see what they were.
seemed a little glitchy.
Yeah.
It's
I
just to
mean,
be aware for anyone who's thinking about picking it up on the PS4 or 5.
all right. Anyone want to start with final thoughts unless there's anything else to add substantively? Oh, I do want to say before that actually though. I want to say something substantively. I really loved like also the music like when the it would cut to like the comic panes and it was like dum and like it was just like that it was just so good. It was just like it just fit so well and it was menacing but also sort of fit that whole like gritty New York. I don't know, so good.
It was really a well done game, even if it's not your style of game or whatever. You kind of have to admit it has a lot of charm.
Yeah. And I wonder how the movie was supposedly awful, so they did make a movie based on the loosely based off of the game, and I heard it was pretty bad and never saw it.
Yeah, wasn't there like weird like supernatural elements to it or something or like
I don't know.
I could be making that up. I think there was something like really stupid like that, and maybe not supernatural, but like demonic or something.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I guess was very loosely
Yeah.
hinted at in the game, but it
Right.
wasn't really.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the game had like the crazy person believing in that, not that it actually happened kind of a thing. Anyway, speaking of, and then we'll get final thoughts there. I don't know if you guys saw there's a new trailer for a Resident Evil movie.
I did see it, and there was like no Resident Evil elements at all to it.
Yeah. Supposedly, and I don't know this personally, but my friend said that the director or whatever, or writer, or whatever, whoever it is a big Resident Evil fan.
Yeah,
So, I
I
mean,
saw some comments from him. Yeah, I mean, I get what they're trying to do, like do it in the like a adjacent story to the Resident Evil universe, like so
I,
like
mm,
some from some random guy's perspective, like some so he's not like a trained
yeah, it's not Leon.
operative or anything,
Yeah,
you know.
might be good. I mean,
Yeah, it
I don't know.
looks like
I'm
it
not a
looks
big,
good, but
yeah,
it's not really like I don't
yeah,
know. The use of the Resident Evil name is very like kind of liberal, I think.
yeah. It's kind of just to get
Sell
eyes on it
tickets.
and then hope it's good enough to sustain it, which it might be, but yeah, we'll see. All right, final thoughts on Max Payne. Let's go. Who wants to start us off?
I'll start. So I mentioned I played this game, you know, more or less around the time it was released, and I liked it. I remember liking it, but I never really thought of this game as one I would put in like my top 10 or top 20 games. But I have to say, after replaying it, I think I would classify it, that high on my list. So I'm not going to make this that long because, as I've been saying throughout the whole episode, it's not not a lot of great reasons why this game, in my opinion, is so great. It's a very basic, simple game, but it's darn fun. And I feel like that's the most important thing when you're talking about a video game. So I highly, highly, highly recommend it. And it took us a long time to kind of find a category to play this game in. So I hope we can more quickly find a category to play the sequels in.
All right, I'll go next. So yeah, I'll start off with definitely recommending this game, whichever platform you could get it on. Um, it's very fun, and it's kind of like goes back to basics, but isn't too basic. I mean, you got a wide array of guns to use. The story is cliche, but like twisted. Has its enough twists and stuff to make it interesting, and you kind of want to keep learning more. The bad guys continue like as part of the story, growing from sort of just like okay, the mob to a higher conspiracy is also very interesting. Again, a little bit cliche, but also very fun and interesting to play through. And just the gameplay is so fun, and the setting is so fun, and if you have any connection to New York, I just feel like New York City. Like I just feel like it's cool to see how they do the subway, how they do the buildings, how they do some of the cop cars even are like the old 1990s style or late 80s style cop cars, and it's just all very cool, I think. So definitely recommended. Great playthrough. Check it out if you have the chance. All right, Tom, finish us off.
Yeah, I don't think we have to beat a dead horse here. I recommend the game too. It's a lot of fun, and even though it's an old game, you can still play it on modern platforms, and you can probably get it pretty cheap too. So I think it's definitely worth the play.
All right, there you have it, Max Payne, the second of our category of protagonist names being the name of the game. Check us out on Instagram, X, YouTube, and Twitch at Bros Boss Battles. That's BROS Boss Battles. Check us out at our website, brothersandbossbattles.com. Make sure to like and subscribe wherever you get this podcast to get the latest whenever we release a new episode. The next episode will come out 2 weeks from now. It will be the third and final of this category. Until then, take care and thanks for listening.